Just have been getting ready to go to Scotland. My flight is later today, and making decisions about those little things is so much fun. All right, let me turn this all the way down. Okay, let's start. So we're doing really whole body connectivity today, whole body connection, relating one thing to the other, and we're going to start breathing. So, oh, and we're also, I have a drum set at that side of the room. So we have relocated to a new corner of my house, a new corner of my living room. Inhale, open up, reach it out and up. And exhale, feel the space around you as your arms are coming down. So inhaling, opening, chest, heart, lungs. Feel out into your fingertips, wake up your fingertips, and then radiate out into space coming down. Inhale, open, reach it out and up. Exhale, shake it down. Big shake, letting your body release, getting rid of any nervous tension and getting the lymphatic system online. So inhale up and exhale, shake. If it feels okay to bounce, bounce. Also, if we kind of do a harder bounce, it's going to stimulate lymph, but it's also going to give our bones a little extra density moment. So inhale up, exhale, shake it out, maybe a little more active bounce. Many different ways to shake. There's a whole variety. So you want to become familiar with all the different possibilities, or you can't become familiar with all of them, but many of them. Shake, 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 get it going. And let's turn this into spirals, twisting, looking around behind you, getting the whole spine to, so the whole spinal cord inside your spinal column is getting this nice twist from side to side. Nice movement from your tail up through your head. You could even think of this movement from your feet out through your fingertips. And speaking of connectivity, I was talking to a friend of mine, a ballet teacher, Ellie Lazar, who was just in New York setting a ballet on the Joffrey, or is in New York right now doing that. And he was talking about, there was another, was it Stanley Williams, another ballet teacher who talked about your legs as not being two legs, but as being one leg. So if we think of like, if I'm shifting my weight onto one side, it's the balance of these two edges together that's going to help me balance. If I shift the weight on the other side, it's not, I'm suddenly there with one leg. It's more, I've got one leg, two ends. So it's just an idea to help feel the connection inside. And if we think about this on a fascia level, like our whole body is 100% connected. We don't have like an arm that's over there in another room, or like our foot, in another city. It's all here, all 100% connected. And the internal system of tensegrity, the fascia, is holding it together. It's all holding it together. The bones, the fascia, the organs, the interconnections. So let's play with that idea of one leg. And we're going to play with almost like a starfish. So you're going to go onto one side, take it a little bit off balance, use your head, your arms, and your other end of your one leg, hey Susan, to help you balance. So moving, balancing one side, balancing the other, and feeling what's going on in the middle. So you want to not be like, you're going to shift it. And it's not like, oh, this is so easy, I'm easy balancing. What you want to do is move around so it isn't so easy, so that you're having to negotiate that with your one leg and two ends of the one leg. Like imagine like a stick has two ends. So imagine that your one leg has two ends, and whatever's happening on one end has to be related into the other end. So letting it go with that, feeling your whole body moving, feeling the arms, the legs, the head, the central channel, taking it from one side to the other. Yeah, give yourself a challenge. If you fall, or if you put your other foot down, that's fine. Don't fall. Or if you do fall, make it easy enough. Let's swim the arms forward. So swimming through the space, shifting from side to side. Nice arm circle. I'm just going to back up a little bit more. Letting your weight shift with that. So whole body flow. and then change it to a backstroke. You can let your rib cage, lungs, and heart open up. I'm trying to move with a real lightness in my body. So there's lightness and ease. I'm not adding tension or making it harder. Like I'm floating through the room, making it easy and fluent. And then we're going to come back in. So we've really encompassed this outer world, right? By moving into the space around us, right? One way we can feel connected to the world is to reach out into the world, right? You're feeling disconnected, you two kind of in here, radiate outward, open into the world, right? So let's do that from our hearts. You're going to take your, let's come kind of in and then open out, like you're presenting, coming in and then splashing, opening out. Exhale, curling. Inhale, opening. Exhale, curling. Inhale, opening. And then opening your feet wide. I'm going a little bit rapido at the moment because that is my general tempo. Let's take it from side to side, shifting from side to side. So if you need to take longer in anything that we're doing, then just take longer, right? This is for you to do what you need to do in your body. And the things that I'm offering are offerings, but it's not like the one truth. There are many possible truths here. Shifting from side to side, freeing up your head-tail connection, feeling your feet underneath you with this idea of one leg, right? It's connected through the pelvis, the one leg. All right, and let's take it just to circle the pelvis, pubic bone and tailbone mobilizing. So center of the body is circling what's happening with your feet and your head. Let your feet mobilize. You can really move through them a lot, or you can not move through them as much, depending on what it feels like in your body. Change direction, other way. Oh, I've got some really wonderful acoustics going on here in my floor. And then let's shift and push off. Push, 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 push. So think of it really being the leg pushing you away. So there's many ways I could move from one place to the other, but think of this as really initiating from the leg pushing off the floor, leg pushing off the floor. So you'll start to feel your outer thighs a little bit, maybe your butt, your glutes. Good, then we're gonna change it. You're gonna step and you're gonna, I'm ready to fall over. Step across and cross your leg. Step and cross. And just see what, like, it's very different to balance over here than here, right? So it could be the jump and then cross, jump and then cross. So here I've found it, I've already found this, and now I'm crossing. But if I want to make it harder, it goes right across, right across, right across, right across, right? Adaptation and it's your coordination and your agility, but also your like capacity to adapt to what's happening quickly, right? Shifting it, which is one reason why we don't want to do the same workout every single time. Like there's no adaptation required in there. It's like putting in a pattern that's just going to be getting crusty. All right, let's try. Let's see how I want to do this. Let's come down onto our butts. Okay, we want to keep changing the pattern because life is never going to be the same all the time, right? We're always going to have to keep adjusting to different things. So the more we practice adjustment, the easier it is. And that doesn't mean that like, oh no, now I'm going to put up with a bunch of crap. On the contrary, it means you're much more in tune with how it feels in your body to be like, to be discerning, yes or no to this or that. Opening the arms wide, back of the hands towards each other. Inhale, open. Exhale. But also to be able to be comfortable enough in situations that you don't need to escape or armor yourself to not feel anything, right? When we start to feel, we start to be able to go, oh, this is acceptable, this isn't acceptable. And we can start to advocate for ourselves because we have no choice. Back of the hands towards each other, open it up. Inhale, open. So as we shift our comfort with discomfort, our capacity to be in awkward situations, we also are able to be more specific about stuff and be more honest about stuff. Open it up. Squeaky. Squeaky deaky is there right out of frame. Voice coming in. Hey. All right, let's change it. Let's take it all the way down to the floor, stretch it out. Oh, scare the cat. Reach it long, and then get longer through one side and then through the other. So you're just stretching through the right and then through the left, feeling that connection from your hands through your feet. You can try flexing and pointing one side and the other, long through your waist. So it's shifting around. We're not stabilizing in the core. I would guess that all of you people in my class are really good at core stability. So maybe finding mobility is more important at this stage. Not that we don't want to be able to use our core stability. Like if I'm going to pick up a big thing, I want to be able to, have the strength in my body to not get injured. But I also don't need to be bracing all the time. All right, let's take, I kind of want to do this with a weight. It's something I haven't done in a long time. You could have just one of your weights, maybe. I used to do this with the balls at the gym, the little weighted balls. So we're going to hold a weight over our head, just a single one, or if you feel like you want one. So this is a 3 pound. To me, it just feels so like nothing that I'm going for 6. We're going to come up and we're going to cross. So I'm going to kick up my right leg and cross over to that side and then inhale down. And crossing to the other side and inhale down. And I'll show you actually what this looks like directly. So I'm spiraling and then coming down, spiraling and then coming down. I could just do this low. It could just be down here, really twisting through center, right? So we have this contralateral pattern, cross body, crossing midline. And you can go as high as feels good. Like if it doesn't feel good to go all the way up, don't. If it feels you choose the one that feels good to you. Kicking across your body and spiraling in that direction. Two more. And we're going to come down. Just relax for a second. Internally rotate your feet. So my knees are touching, my heels are out and my toes are pointed in. So pigeon-toed knocking position. I'm going to circle the weights around my body. Inhaling open and exhaling closed. Use your breath. Filling up, letting go, or actively blowing out. And then change direction. Yeah, so I'm really feeling this into the tissue in my lats, under my scapula. Actually, it would be scapulae, both of them together, under both of them. But feeling the movement, letting this circle with the arms mobilize all of the stuff in my upper body, right? I'm not trying to clamp it down and get it more congested. I'm trying to move it. If you have 2 weights, grab one in each hand. You can come back to parallel, arms up. You're going to just internally and externally rotate. This shouldn't feel like a lot of work. It should feel very easy, but you're going to see if you can feel your scapula underneath you kind of doing this, like under your back. Your scapula is going like that underneath. So it's widening out and then coming in. It's kind of winging up from the base, and then base comes towards each other. Up, and you're going to let your shoulders really move in the socket so that your humerus is mobilizing And when I say really move in the socket, I don't actually mean that. I mean, you're going to let your whole shoulder really move up and down. So you're mobilizing all of that tissue and giving yourself a little bit of a back massage. Okay, let's let that go. And so this is just something that I've noticed in the few people whose bodies I have put my hands on lately, is that most people's scapula are really anchored on there, especially guys. So you want to, it's not that you want it to be floating around like nothing, but it should be, there should be movement. There should be the capacity for this whole structure to do all sorts of things, right? We want to have that freedom. Otherwise, things start to get a little blocked in there. And I actually know a guy with a frozen shoulder right now. So getting the movement of the whole area before worrying about getting the arm up is probably an important thing, like getting the whole thing a little more alive. And this is something that happens to women a lot also, that frozen shoulder. So we want to feel that connection into our body of the arm, right? The arm part coming from our fingers and out to our fingers, right? The blood flowing through our body is going all the way out to those little capillaries. It's coming back in. So the whole system of our blood system, of our heart, the lungs, we're breathing in the oxygen, it's moving through our blood out to the rest of our body, and then it returns back in as CO2, right? So we're having this exchange going on. We can move to enhance that relationship. All right, let's take it down and let's go with some spirals. Easy and loose to start out, just massaging through your hips and lower back, opening and closing. Oh, releasing and letting go. Letting the spiral come into your spine and up towards your head. I mean, it's not like you're going to push it really far. You're just going to start to sense inside the movement and free up the flow in your spinal cord. You can take that across. So for me, when I do this, like I'm really getting into the space between my shoulder blades actually, and creating a little bit more widening in my rhomboids, in the muscles that are helping to keep my shoulder blades on my back. And we want them to be able to come in and we want them to be able to go out, right? We don't want any of these muscles that have this capacity for movement to be locked in one place. Let's come in and let's go up and down. So pressing your pelvis up, going with easy circles. So now we're tuning into the center, but we're also feeling this movement all the way out to the edge. Like I can feel my weight shift in my feet. I can feel it up here in my shoulders. And I can also feel what my head and neck want to do in relationship to that. As big or small as feels good to you. Maybe starting small and getting bigger, change direction, go the other way. So I saw this thing on Instagram with one of the guys that I follow, who's like the movement expert. And he says, he's like, this is what people think when I say I do calisthenics or that I work out. And he shows like all the sort of typical workout stuff, a lot of stuff that we do. And then he goes, but this is what I'm really doing. And then he shows some really intense, like handstands and bendy stuff. And like, but you know, we need all the things. And sometimes it's like step A, B, and C that get us to step D, right? And I feel like take it down and relax. Looking at what the more intense, younger, especially dudes that are movement people on Instagram are doing, I just hope they're doing a lot of recuperation work as well. Because we got to move slow and move easy, as well as forcing things and like, you know, turning into super bendy people or super. So I'm flexing up, stretching through the back of my leg, and then pointing and taking it down. Flexing up, and I'm getting a little tiny bit of internal rotation, external rotation, internal rotation as I move my leg. Yeah, I mean, it's super great and I love intense things, but I see that there's a real push towards this intensity that doesn't always make sense. Like if you're not an athlete, if you're not a dancer, if you're not a performer or a yogi, do you need to do some of these movements? Is it going to be beneficial to do the more intense stuff? Some of it, yes. Some of it, not so sure. All right, let's go changing 1, 2, 3, and open it up. Flex your feet. 1, 2, 3, and open it up. So yeah, like some of the stuff they're doing is doing like hamstring stretches, holding weights and stuff like that. And it's like, that might be good depending on your age and the agility of your tissue. And it also might be an injury coming, so not that we're never going to avoid injuries. It's going to happen. That's part of being alive and moving, right? We're going to get injured. Things are going to happen. But can we also be gentle and soft within what we're doing? Even if it's just with our attitude. And open it up and come down and internally rotate. And then the other one. So I feel like a good goal to have is to be able to move and to do the things you want to do movement wise, but not necessarily keep pushing boundaries and edges in all directions at all times. And that's the other thing with social media. We're looking at this stuff. It's like, wow, they're doing this crazy shit every day. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. Maybe they go and get a massage and go to the hammam afterwards. Who knows? Let's come in, press it up, interlace your hands behind your butt, walk it closer together. But I feel like we don't want to discount, like there are a lot of great exercises. And each time in our life, a different exercise might be, on every day, a different exercise might be the more important one. Internally rotate, externally rotate. Feeling the femur head, your thigh bone in the hip socket, and letting the muscles and tendons and ligaments around that bone just do what they have to do, not doing more. And obviously, if you're doing less, you won't go anywhere. So just finding the most perfect amount of effort, making it as effortless as possible to open and close. Last one. Come into center. We're going to go up onto our tippy toes and lower your heels. Tippy toes and lower. Up and down. So basically all I'm trying to say is we really need a variety pack of different types of movement. And we also need a lot of like gentle movement and a lot of really basic movement to help us when we're doing our more intense, bigger movements. Last one. And release and open and roll it down through your spine. So what I would say is that this particular class has been the insurance policy for me so that I can go and pole dance, and I can go to ballet class, and I can do choreography. And I can still do it without getting injured because I'm doing a lot of more basic stuff. Let's stretch that out. Just one leg at a time. We're going to take a little longer on this stretch. If you want to drop the bottom one down, you can. Let's actually just do that. Drop your bottom leg down and then pick it up off the floor. Drop it down. See if you can relax into that. And then pick it up. Drop it down. See what that does to your sacrum and lower back. Pick it up. One more time. Drop it down. Pick it up. And then you're going to bend and extend the top leg, reaching through our two different legs, right? Two legs, one leg. Imagining that our two legs are just one leg, reaching it out. So going for a bigger stretch if that feels good. Listening into your own body. Flex it in, reach and point. You can do it with the bottom leg or not. That was just to help emphasize the one leg idea. Reach it out. So that when we think of it as being one leg, the two legs are always in relationship, right? They're always feeling each other. If we think, oh, it's just one leg. At least that's what happens for me. Okay, we're going to cross that leg over and then open it out to the side. You can do this with a bent bottom knee or a straight one, really whatever feels good to you. Open it out, cross it over. So you're trying not to roll your whole body from side to side, although I have to say that does feel good on my hips. I'm trying to move my leg in my hip socket here. There's a little bit of rolling, but not a whole lot. And fold it in and cross it over. Also, I want to say about these guys, there's also some women on there that are doing a lot of pretty cool, intense mobility stuff. that it's super cool to see all this stuff. Like, it's really amazing what people are doing and how people are conceiving of being in their bodies and what embodiment means on these different levels. Bring it in, come down. What I'm trying to say is that it's the underlying of non-flashy movement is really important. That underlying structure of just being in there and like letting yourself not have to do something so intense all the time. All right, let's go to the other leg and take it up. And now I totally forgot what we were doing. I know we were doing the stretch, but I feel like we did something before that. Feeling the two legs stretching away from each other. Saul, let me know. Did I forget something? Just that, right? Okay, flex it in and reach it out. Flex it in, reach it out. Thinking of the two legs, so I can do this without holding on and pulling, right? I can do it like that. But if I give myself a little pull, I can go a little further. So that's where you want to be working, not forcing yourself into something that's too far, but something that is just a little bit beyond what you can do without the hand, without the pull. And then if you want to, you could leave the bottom leg. It could be bent or straight, just working in the top leg. And again, feeling, so as I'm feeling this leg straightening out, I'm also feeling this leg lengthening down. That's what we did. We picked it up and we dropped it down. Let's go back to that for this side. So you're just going to pick it up and then lower down. Feeling that connection in through your torso. Pick it up and lower it down. Pick it up and lower it down. So for me, on the other side, I was really aware of what was happening in my torso. But on this side, in the pickup and the lower down, I'm really feeling it in the back of my hamstring, feeling what changes there. Last one. And then we're going to switch over to opening out to the side and crossing your midline. Breathing into it. Good. Couple more times. You can also try the rolling. So if ever I say don't do it this way, and then I try it and I feel like, oh, there's actually a pretty good benefit to that, I'm always like, oh, it's all just sort of infinite possibilities. But we want to think of differentiating those possibilities a little bit. So here I'm moving my femur head across and open, or I can roll with it, which is going to massage out my lower back a little bit more and my hips. Fold it in and cross it over all the way. And then come in, bring it into center, pick up your butt, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Take up one foot and shake your butt if you can, and then pick up the other foot and shake your butt and just feel what the relationship down into your body is. Helps if your feet are close together for that. Just try it one side and then the other without any judgment. Then come down and take a happy baby, free it up, do whatever you gotta do. And then roll yourself back and forth, rolling through your spine. Yeah, so we really want to be thinking about balancing our strength work with our mobility work, with our flexibility work, all the things, right? All the things matter, but they don't have to happen all at once every single day. All right, let's take it down into an X. So we're going to do a whole fairly long pattern thing here. Move those weights out of the way. First, we're going to do a body half, elbow to knee, and then slide it out, elbow to knee, and slide it out. Think of your shoulders and your hips just staying kind of flat as you do this little half sideways crunch. So your knee and your foot can come up off the floor. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. One side of your body is radiating outward, the other side is coming in. Then we're going to change it. We're going to pull the whole thing into a ball and slide along the floor, straight up and down. Get very long, upper versus lower. Reach it out. Pull it into a ball. Open it wide like a book. You can flex and point. Pull it into a ball. Reach up to the ceiling. Again, flex through the heels and through the hands into a ball. Slide it back out into your X. Same thing. Pulling it into a ball, straight up and down along the floor. Feel your fingers and toes radiate. Feel your central channel. Bring it in. Open it out to the side. Flex. You can circle. Wake up the hands and the feet. Bring it in. Up to the ceiling. Same thing. Waking up. Hands, feet. Into a ball. Slide it out into your X. We're going to start with the body half. So it's going to be the elbow and knee coming together. And the other side of your, you can't even see it, but the other side of your body, the straight side, is going to stay straight, pull you around into a little fetus position. Then the top half is going to creep away from center and open up along the floor. And then the other half, this is weird with all these carpets, opens up on the floor. Elbow and knee come together on one side. The long side circles around along the floor and pulls you into a ball. The long side opens back up and slides you back across your back, and you open the whole thing up. Elbow and knee towards each other, other side of your body along the floor, circling around, and then into a ball. Open it up, open it up, open it up, and the other side unfolds. Folding in on one side, other side stays long, circles around, pull it in, unfold one side, spread out, unfold the second side. We're going to go back to the other exercise, pulling it into a ball, straight up and down along the floor. Feel your fingers and your toes. Into a ball. Open it wide like a book. Again, fingers, toes, in, out, wake it up. Into a ball. Up to the ceiling. Feel your ankles and wrists. Into a ball. Slide it out into an X. One more of those. Into a ball. Straight up and down. Just going to go a little faster. Into a ball. Open it wide. Into a ball, up to the ceiling, into a ball, slide it out. Let's come back in here. There's so many exercises I used to do in gym class where they had all the right equipment. I'm just thinking about it. Let's just do another thing for your back. Pressing up, feet are fairly close together, and pelvis is right there in between your knees and your shoulders. Little march, just pushing the floor away. Letting the top leg arc up into space with your knee staying bent. Pushing the floor away. As you come in for a landing, it's like you're replacing one foot with the other one. Finding your breath, keeping the pelvis high, working the back, working the hamstrings. Good. And let the whole thing come down. Roll it over onto one side. Come up and let's flip over onto hands and knees. Let me just check the time. I'm pretty close to being all packed, but you know, it's those decisions, those last minute things like, do I want this? Do I need that? And nowadays, like you have to travel with like two things because you otherwise you have to pay for baggage underneath. And the other part is like, I don't want to have to carry that baggage under. So trying to be efficient and yet somewhat fashionable is really challenging. Opposite arm to leg out, bring it in, bring it out. Let's stay on that diagonal for 10. Going 1, 2, reaching long, 3, head tail connection, 4, all the way out through your hands and feet, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other side. 1, 2, other diagonal, 3, cross body movement, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And let's curl your toes under, take it up to a downward dog, push the floor away, bend one knee, bend the other, release your back, release your hips. We're gonna lift the heels high, round your spine, core yourself forward. Take it into a full plank. Drop your head, push, roll it up to the ceiling, lower your heels. Heels high, scoop the belly in, roll it forward. Find it, drop, push, roll it up and lower. Up, curl, forward, and drop. Last one. We're gonna take it down to a forearm plank from here. Let's do the knees, one, two, touching down to the floor, parallel, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, crossing under, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Take the whole thing down, bend your knees, rock from side to side, let this massage through your quads, hips relaxing, breathe. Free up the flow of your torso and your breath. And then let's take the hands out to the sides. You're going to spiral palms up to the back and then spiral palms up to the front. Palms up to the back, palms up to the front. I'm going to keep this kind of slow, but if you want to, when your hands go up to the front, you can lift your legs. Legs down, legs up. You could really rock this like the swan. I'm just not up for that at the moment myself. So really do what feels good to you. Last one. Hands next to your chest, arch all the way up. Take it back into a child's pose. Breathe into your back, wiggle around, free up your spine. Shifting your weight from side to side or up and down. Let's play with this. It's just curling your belly in. It's going to be in child's pose, but just look at it first. So you need to see all this. So I'm going to be here in my child's pose, and I'm just going to round up, scooping in, and then let my belly really relax, and I'm going to walk my hands out. So I'm going to scoop belly in and up, following and curling, and then radiate out. If you've had breakfast, do not do this. If your stomach, if like you've had coffee, fine. But if you've got food in there or digestion's happening, maybe skip it or do it really light. So I'm starting with like deep down here, curling, rounding, coming up a little. And then I'm letting my belly come forward, spreading out, walking my hands up and away. Hands come down, weight shifts slightly back, and I scoop my belly in, and then I lengthen it out. You could just go with that belly movement. And it's almost like a little gut mobility, right? Just scooping in, and then letting your belly really stick out, and then bring it up. It's funny how we just don't really deal with our guts very much. I mean, people talk a lot about your core, and I don't even know what most people mean when they say your core, but to me, your core involves your central channel. It involves your guts, your organs, everything that's in your torso, this whole thing, head-tail connection. It's funny how we like to pull our body into these parts, right? But I feel like if we start with this fundamental underlying head-tail relationship, and then we start to pack ourselves out, it's one way to conceive of it. We could also take the whole container of our skin and work our way in from there. So just thinking of how you're conceiving of your body is going to affect how connected you feel, right? So we could feel like the container, the skin, let's just go for a little free flow movement here, the container of the skin, and then inside that, the contents. And we're letting the contents maybe have some more freedom, some more movement, some more flow. But we also want to think that like when we're working in here, we're not just working our muscles. We're relating to our organs. We're relating to our bones. We're relating to our nervous system. And another just interesting thought is that, so from our head, the brain bulb, down through our spinal cord, this river of our spine, and then radiating out is our nervous system, right? Branching and branching and branching. And it's moving its way, wending its way through our fascia. So I've said it before, our nervous system is routed out through our fascia. And somebody's like, well, how is that? And it's like, well, our fascia is the whole intricate pattern, this whole of system of tensegrity that's forming and informing our body. And for it is our shape, like it's every little muscle casing, every little fibril, that's holding shape within in our body, holding form. So our nervous system has to go through that, right? If you look at Gil Hedley, if you're into anatomy at all, if you're not squeamed out by the body, Gil Hedley has a lot of really great things where he shows how the nerves are routed out through there and what's happening. Anyway, it's all one interconnected system. Let's come all the way up to standing. And let's grab our weights. If you have your light weights, grabbing the light weights. So let's take the palms are facing up. You're going to go up. You're going to flip it over. You're going to bring it in and down. Up, rotate, rotate, down. Up, rotate, rotate, down. Up, rotate, rotate, down. Now turn it so that the back of the hand is out. You're going to come up. You're going to flip, open it out, bring it in, rotate, and down. Up, flip, out, in, rotate, down. Up, flip, out, in, rotate, down, up, flip, out, in, rotate, down, up. So as you're doing this, feel what's going on with your weight. How are you standing in your feet? Are you shifted more to one side or the other? And you're not doing it to make a big judgment about it. You're just doing it to notice it and become curious about what's actually going on. Good. Now we're going to change it again. So you're going to come up, flip, open out, bring it back in, flip and down. Up, flip, open out, bring it back in, flip, down. Up, flip, open out. So I'm opening out slightly in front of me for this. Up here, I'm opening here. In, flip, down, up, flip, open, out, in, flip, and just feel what it feels like when your body goes through this opening. What helps me is breath support. When I come up there, opening with the breath up into my upper lungs, right? If I breathe down into my belly when I do that, it doesn't have the same feeling as opening up here, right? So we don't want to have a preference for breathing down into our belly or breathing up into our upper body, that or down here. We want to do both of them sometimes, right? Maybe more belly breathing than relax for 2 seconds, have like a arm freedom moment, let it adjust. Generally, like when that diaphragm is moving down, it's going to be massaging our organs, but we also want it to be able to move up. Like there should be all of this capacity. So we're going to do something. Okay, we're going to do this little breath thing. I learned this from Leslie Kaminoff, and this is me, my version of it. So this is not the way, whatever he taught. This is the Laura interpretation. So what we're going to do, it's not going to be your biggest breath. You're going to take not a big breath. You're going to take a breath in, but not your biggest breath. But when you feel like you've gotten to the top of that breath, you're going to stop breathing, but you're going to let the imagery of drawing in and up continue to happen. So it would be like this. I'll show you with my hand when I stop breathing, but I'm still going to be going up. So I'm going to exhale out. I'm going to inhale in. And then let it out. So it's like you filled up your breath, but not so full that you can't do more. And then you just keep moving the movement. So your diaphragm is moving without necessarily taking in more breath. If you do take in more breath, it's fine. It's not against the law, but it's just to get this feeling of that movement, right? So I could like go like that, and whatever my breath is happening, it doesn't matter. Like my diaphragm is getting this up and downness, right? And I can emphasize it to go down more or to come up more, right? And it's just finding a fluidity inside my own body when we have that freedom in our diaphragm, our breathing is going to be more effective, right? The oxygen is going to be coming in more easily, and we're not locking places in there, which we've all got holding patterns in our body from just being alive in the world. So we just want to allow some more freedom in there. So you can also do it with the exhale. So you could go exhale out and then keep it descending. And then when you need to, take a big breath in, let the air just come right in. So going in and up, breath stops. I keep rising. Let it out. Inhale, exhale, take it down. Exhale may have stopped. Or you can keep a little bit more happening, letting that diaphragm do a little bounce. Just to think about this so that we're having more relationship to our breathing. All right, where are we? We are getting close to the end. So let's take it down to the floor and do a hip stretch. Yeah, I mean, it's like just there's constantly stuff to learn, and also ways to learn of being in your body. And as Leslie said, when you start to, and I've said it too, but like when you start to kind of decalcify, decrustify, when you start to kind of slough off the holding patterns that may be holding you back, you become much more in alignment with your actual truth that's happening on a body level. And when that happens, it's like, oh, there may be some adjustment in your life because the whole world is going to change when you start to change. That's all I have to say about that. And it might not always be the easiest thing. That's why a lot of people don't want to do it. Like, oh, it's easy if I just hold on to everything like this. I can keep powering through. Maybe let go of some of that and find out what happens if you get bashed around a little bit, but then tune into the flow. All right, cross-legged position, just taking it forward, shift from side to side. Freeing up that spine, feeling the relationship of the pelvis to the rib basket to the cranium, the brain basket, the brain container. And feeling how when you move one, there's probably going to be movement in one of the other ones or both of the other ones. So we've got these three big bony structural, protective, alive containers. It's even very unorganic to say container. Switch it to the other leg. So non-dominant leg goes in front, and the same thing, just fluid through the spine, from the tail to the head, from the cranium through the ribs, through to the pelvis, or from the pelvis through the ribs to the cranium. Freeing it up. And then coming in, and let's do this one. Let's just shake them out for a second. Give your knees a little bit of a wiggle, maybe down the front of your legs, up your quads, just feeling into your tissue. Letting it go. And then let's do knee over the other knee. If it feels good to leave the bottom one straight, or if you're working on your hamstring flexibility, maybe this is a better place to be. And if you're working more on your hips, then this one is the place to be. And we're going to just mobilize the inside of our body, circling around, or free-form movement, circling one way, circling the other way, bringing yourself back in. I feel like whenever we go into this crossed body position, it's like we're calling our energy back. So we're not radiating all out. We're coming back in. Now we've got all the information. Let's let it settle and process. Circles, free-form movement. And when you're ready, take it down, either stillness or moving, whatever feels good to you. Letting go, softening, releasing. What if you just let go? And then come up and open it out, stretching toward the top leg. And then stretching toward the bottom leg. And then spiraling. And then unscramble. And again, let it go. bang it around, rotate in and out, and take it over the other way. So another thing I'll say about these really intensive movement people and movement practitioners, like just again with the recuperative part, like hot baths, hot and cold training helps. Like cold training can decrease inflammation, but also body work, getting, taking care of yourself. It's something we don't really think of. Like, I don't know, like for me, like self-care means I go out and see the sun in the morning, drink enough water, sleep a lot if possible, or, enough. But it also means going and getting, like, seeing the chiropractor, seeing a body worker, spending time with people I really like, having fun, doing the fun things that I like to do. Like all of that is part of me living my best life and taking care of myself and my energetic system. And it's not the same every day. Some days it needs this, some days it needs that. So listening into it, taking it forward and down. Yeah, I don't think I left the house yesterday. Oh yeah, I did, because I had to teach a class. But after teaching my class, I came home and stayed home the rest of the day and like vegged out and watched Arrested Development. And then later packed, ate food, all the things. But give yourself a break. Open it out, take it to the top leg. Open it up toward the bottom leg. But I had like a really intensive past couple of weeks, and I'm about to go into another one. Spiral, twist, look around behind you. So if you're in TV land and you catch this one, I will be back teaching on, I think it's the 25th of March. I may do something from Edinburgh or Glasgow while I'm there, but probably not. I feel like my life is going to be too discombobulated to arrange to teach. And when I say discombobulated, I actually mean super fun and excellent. Let's bang it out, rotate in and out, but just too unstructured to be able to show up and teach. Taking it forward, taking it back. If it feels okay, knees toward the floor and then heels towards the floor. If you need to move your hands at all, go for it. And if being in this deep flexion hurts, don't go this deep. Take your butt up to the ceiling and stand on your legs. And then take your butt to the ceiling, shift from side to side, free up the spine, feel into the weight shift. And come in, roll it all the way up to the top. And inhale, open. Easy, gentle shake. If you're feeling stressed out at all, if there's too much going on, if you're overwhelmed, just shaking it off for a little while. And not like we're doing like, maybe a minute of shaking, but you could spend some time here letting it out, wakening your kinesphere with shaking, like shake it out, like you're spraying your whole realm of movement potential with shakes, right? And the shakes, like sometimes we shake, like here's a bouncy shake, here's a twisty shake. You can add your face, your tongue, your neck. Try to differentiate with lots of different shakes. All right, that's it for that. I am going to close out our live stream. If you were there, there was a person there at some point. Feel free to like and subscribe, do all the things.